Hope you are doing fantastic. Sorry for the delay. The boys are on spring break right now, and let's just say my life's a little complicated at the moment in my situation. But we got to pump out this video before March Madness starts. So would appreciate if you give us our thoughts, how we did. So basically, this is going to be a little different from most of the other bracket videos you're seeing, right? This is not how to win the bracket pool. This is just a fun thing of who we think will probably pull out some of these games, right? If you want to pick a good bracket or like a decent bracket, or if you want to follow the experts in the field, like the ESPN guys, for example, it's probably going to look a lot like this. This is the people's bracket right here, where basically all of the number one seeds get picked, all of the 1 and 2 seeds go to the Elite Eight, right? Because, yeah, those are the best teams in the sport, and they have been this year. But what's the fun in that? At the end of the day, filling out a bracket for me and for Zach is just about fun and, picking an upset here and there because most years, as we know, with like FAU and San Diego State a couple years ago, and then North Carolina State last year, there's always that one team that makes it where you're like, that team? You know what I'm saying? So now we go to my bracket, right? And like I said, although we consider ourselves to be pretty well versed in college basketball, like we've watched it all year. We're not experts, nor are we statisticians. So probably listen to those ESPN guys. They probably are a little bit more in tuned, and probably picking the number 1 and number 2 seeds like the chalk. It's probably going to play out. That's probably the most likely outcome. But even if, you don't know who to trust, just if you got like a 15 seed, just go with it. It's going to make for a cool story if it happens. And let's be honest, the person who's going to win your pool is probably your 12-year-old cousin who doesn't know anything about basketball and just picks the mascots that he likes, or that guy who just lame and picks all the 1 seeds and all the favorites, So, like I said, this is just my opinion, so don't take it too heavily. And Zach's opinion, of course. I'm sure he'd say the same thing. So here's who we got for the South region. Auburn over Alabama State. Going to kind of breeze through some of these. I'll put a little commentary in, but we have shorts on our channel. Almost 100 subscribers, by the way. Thank you, guys. We have some shorts. We're going to have shorts up for every single game. Discussing them a little bit more in depth, but don't want to waste y'all's time. Creighton over Louisville. I know it's in Lexington. I know Louisville's had a really good season. I know Chucky Hepburn's a dog, but Ryan Kalkbrenner is also a dog, and Stephen Ashworth is a dog. I talked about them in a recent video. I like Creighton. Michigan versus UC San Diego. I like UC San Diego. As you know, if you've been following the channel, we've been on them for a little while. I'm not a big Michigan guy, so going UC San Diego. Texas A&M versus Yale. Look, Yale had a video on them too, so it hurts my heart to do this. But I'm rocking with my boys over in College Station. Look, if you haven't watched before, I love Texas A&M this year just because they're really old. They have great continuity, great experience, and they just play so hard. Like, their athleticism is just gonna blow some teams away, I feel, because you haven't seen guys like that. And then Wade Taylor IV, even though he's a shot chucker, he can make some tough shots, and Zurich Phelps is very quick, and they have just a bunch of dogs on that team, just a bunch of junkyard dogs. And as you'll see, those are the teams that I really like, the teams that just play it insanely hard. So there's a little bit of a theme to my bracket there. Another team that's got some guys who play fast and hard, Ole Miss. Iowa State, another team like that, even though they don't have Keyshawn Gilbert. Could see this game being close to Ole Miss, North Carolina. And I could see Lipscomb taking Iowa State to the brink. Another one that I had a tough time choosing, Marquette, New Mexico. A lot of these games are just toss-ups for me, honestly. Could flip a coin, honestly, a few of these games. Going with Marquette just because I like Cam Jones a little bit better than I like Donovan Dent, like as a player, but only marginally. Michigan State, Bryant. I like Michigan State. Bryant, a team to watch for. I posted a video about that yesterday. Link below. So then we're going to go. We have Marquette advancing, beating Michigan State. Posted a video yesterday also. This is a huge plug, right? About how I don't trust Michigan State. Explain more about that. Ole Miss over Iowa State. Don't really trust Iowa State that much. I think they peaked a little early. And Ole Miss just has that. They just have some guys. I like Sean Padula. He's just kind of a bunch of athletic dudes, and then Sean Padula. And Chris Beard, I think he's looking for redemption. Maybe a manufactured storyline of mine. He didn't get the Indiana job, so that he wanted. So maybe he's like out for revenge or something like that. So taking Ole Miss, right? Taking my boys, the Aggies, over UC San Diego. And then I'm taking Creighton over Auburn. I don't know. Auburn's another team that I'm not sure I trust. And I think that Kalkbrenner can deny Broom well enough. And the short of it is I kind of like Creighton's guards more than I like Auburn's guards, which sounds ridiculous, but I think Stephen Ashworth is the best guard on the court. Actually, I do. I would take him over Jones, Baker Mazzara, or Todd Pettiford, really. But yeah, just my opinion. Then I got the Aggies. I think they'll just be too much for Creighton. I could see this being a good game, though. I think it's a good draw for Texas A&M as well. And then I got Ole Miss beating Marquette. I just think they're a little too athletic for them. So then I have Texas A&M beating Ole Miss for a spot in the Final Four in San Antonio. Let's go, Aggies. I can't go back on my word. I said I was going to pick them, and nothing has really changed with that team. And so I'm going to stand on business there. We move to my bad. We move to the East region. Duke beats Mount St. Mary's. Shout out American man. Tough injury. Just suffered earlier tonight. Mississippi State over Baylor. This one is also a coin flip. Both these teams I don't like that much, but I rock with my short king, Josh Hubbard, and I rock with the shorter king whenever possible. Oregon over Liberty. Liberty. Just thinking of that TV jingle I see all the time. They also have short kings. So, man, I'm going back and forth. I just really like Oregon. We talked about Oregon earlier in the year, how we like them a lot. If you stayed for that video, shout out you. But I got them facing off against Arizona, beating my Zips. Not my Zips anymore, but beating them in and going to this after dark matchup. VCU, I have beating BYU. I like BYU, but everybody who's saying they're going to the Final Four, Elite Eight is kind of worrying me a little bit because I'm like, should I be higher on this team? Love my boy Richie, but VCU just has a bunch of absolute dogs. And at the end of the day, BYU is just first year head coach. AJ DeBance's coming next year. And their best player's name is Richie. So I don't know. I just don't know. I think they might be a little too hot. Wisconsin, Montana. This is going to be close. And as you'll see, Zach has Montana. I love Wisconsin, though. I know it's random, but John Tonje is my guy. They showed me something in that Big Ten tournament. Like, they defend, they play a little bit more up-tempo. John Blackwell is a very athletic creator. They have 2 7-footers who can shoot, who are the classic Wisconsin white guys who just shoot threes. I like that. St. Mary's, I posted a video about St. Mary's earlier, how they could be a sneaky Final Four candidate. Still stand by that. I have them beating Vanderbilt and then beating Alabama. I do like Mark Sears a lot, but I'm just so skeptical of the Tide, and I like St. Mary's a ton. This game was so tough for me to choose. I'm picking Wisconsin, but I love VCU. Just know VCU. If they win, and everybody is wrong about them, just remember me, all right? You got Oregon over Arizona. I like Shellstad over Caleb Love. And then we're going with Duke over Mississippi State, right? Then we are going with Oregon over Duke. I've picked Duke in like a ton of renditions of the bracket because I love Duke. Got a date with Cooper Flag, right, my guy? But no, I like Oregon. Just an upset here. Duke kind of reminds me of that Zion Williamson team. I just don't know how I feel about a group of freshmen taking a team all the way. Oregon's got a little bit more experience, and I like Dana Altman as a coach in March. I got Wisconsin over St. Mary's. And then in a Big Ten, I know I'm buying the Big Ten this year for some reason. I have Wisconsin going to the Final Four, boys. You already know. I guess I'm a Badger now. I just think that John Tonje is a guy who can take over. Like, I just love him. He's one of my favorite players in college basketball. Yeah. So I got Texas A&M and Wisconsin. This one's a little bit more normal though, in terms of picks. Still got some wild ones. Houston will play Gonzaga in the second round. Clemson will play Purdue. I know High Point and McNeese are both upset pick potential here, but I think Braden Smith and Kaufman Wren are too good for High Point, and I don't think they'll allow their team to lose. And then I think Will Wade is just out. He is out the door to NC State, so don't think he cares that much about this game because he's got a job no matter what. Illinois over Texas and Xavier. I don't care who wins. Taking the Illini. Have a video about the Illini as well. Have a video on Kentucky, taking them over Troy, although Troy is a great team. This one I'm going back and forth on. I'm taking Mick Cronin and UCLA, and I'm taking my favorite team, Tennessee. Taking Tennessee over UCLA, although I do think it'll be close. Shout out to Kai Ziegler. Have a video on him. Illinois versus Kentucky. I'm taking the Illini. I know it's going to be unpopular with my Kentucky brethren, and I'm very sorry, but I just think Illinois is just an insanely good 6th seed. I'm taking Braden Smith and Purdue over Chase Hunter and Clemson. That one will be tough. And then I don't think this game is going to be as close as people think it is. Gonzaga is Gonzaga, but I think their Sweet 16 run ends here. I think Houston destroys them. Then you got Houston versus Purdue. I'm going with the Cougars. I think they have too much. I think they'll get into Braden Smith, and they will obliterate Purdue on the boards. Illinois, Tennessee, in a rematch this year when Tennessee hit. I love these rematch games because Tennessee hit a buzzer beater against Illinois, and Illinois is truly healthy for the first time. And I think they're one of the most dangerous teams in the country. So I have them barely squeaking by my boy Sakai, my boy Chaz, and Tennessee. And then I have them falling to Houston. Yeah, random, I know, right? But Houston, Final Four, very Texas-centric, which is fitting because the Final Four is in San Antonio. Look, Florida, I don't think UConn's very good. I really respect Hurley. I like the guy a lot. But I think that Jeremiah Fears, who I really like, can torch them. And Porter Moser just hasn't really won a game in a while, and he's made it to a Final Four. So not saying Hurley hasn't made it to a Final Four, but got Memphis over Colorado State. This is a trendy one. I think Colorado State's favorite as of now, but I just think Memphis has a little too much. I think Colorado State plays a little too much through Nate Clifford, and I could see him having a cold game. And I just like this Memphis team. Maryland, so many people talk about the Crab Five. Sure, why not? I'll take them beating Grand Canyon. This game hurts my soul. My Drake Bulldogs are going up against Missouri, but I really like Missouri this year. I really like this whole entire bottom pod here in the West region. I think the West region is really, really good and really maybe underrated. I don't know how people are rating it, but I think any of these teams, Missouri, Drake, Texas Tech, Kansas, Arkansas, St. John's, I think they can all make runs. I respect UNC Wilmington, but I'm going Tech. I love my boys at Arkansas. I predicted them to go far, but I also like Kansas this year. So it hurts. And they don't have a Due Theroux. If they have a Due Theroux, I have them winning this game, but he's out. So I'm giving it to Hunter Dickinson in Kansas. And then I'm taking St. John's, taking them to win and then win again. You'll see I love St. John's. Patino is incredible. This team is incredible. They play so hard. I just feel as if it's time for New York basketball, Texas Tech, I have beating Missouri in a close game. I have Maryland beating Memphis in a close game. And then I have Florida beating Oklahoma in not a close game. Then I have Florida beating Maryland. St. John's beating Texas Tech. And then Florida v. St. John's, I went back and forth on. Look, Florida is the best team in the sport right now, in my opinion. But I don't think the NCAA tournament is about the best team in the sport. Sometimes the best team in the sport doesn't win at all. I'm thinking, well, obviously UConn last year, but I'm thinking just in years past, it's not every year the number one, what should be the number one overall seed wins it all. And I'm taking St. John's. I feel as if Florida they've seen some good defensive teams, don't get me wrong, but I feel as if they could start missing shots at some point because they have just been steamrolling teams. And when I close my eyes and think of the man or the woman, I guess, if there's any women coaches in college basketball, cutting down the nets en route to the Final Four, I just picture Pitino more than I picture Todd Golden. Nothing against Todd Golden, but I just picture Pitino more. And I think Pitino can maybe get like a call at the end of the game from the refs or something more than Todd Golden would. So, Final Four, I have Texas A&M, St. John's, Wisconsin, and Houston. Yes, the color red. I guess I like the color red. Texas A&M and St. John's. I'm picking the Johnnies, although it hurts because I love Texas A&M. And whenever they lose, they might even lose in the first round, but whenever they lose, I'm going to be so sad. But I'm picking St. John's. Then I'm picking Houston. The two most physical, two best defensive teams in the nation. Defense wins championships. But I'm going with the second best defense. Houston, I think, is undeniable this year. I think they're the best value pick. I know that I said that this isn't to win bracket challenges, but hey, it is to win bracket challenges. At the end of the day, I'm trying to win mine, right? And the national championship is the biggest game that matters, and I think Houston's your best bet, right? They have some junkyard dogs down low who can just rebound the heck out of the ball. They're going to play defense. Defense travels. I love Milos Uzan. Don't listen to all the big-time haters of Milos Uzan. We told you that before the season started. We love Miles Uzan. LJ Cryer, Big 12 Player of the Year. Can knock down tough shots. He's been here before. And then just role players. I like Malik Wilson. I like, Mercy Miller if he comes off the bench. JoJo Tugler is amazing. Cougars. And what do you know? My boy, Zach. He's got the same final. I promise. We didn't prepare this, right? I haven't really talked to Zach much. He was gracious enough to send me his picks. So let's see what he's got going on here. I'll give you a little bit of a broader overview. So a couple things that really stand out. He's got Yale going to the Sweet 16, which under any other circumstance, I would be overjoyed with. Like, for example, if it was right here, if Yale was the 13th seed instead of Maryland, would be so down. But that means he thinks they're going to beat my Aggies, and it's Zach, so he's probably right. So that makes me sad. But he has an interesting draw as well. He's got Marquette beating Michigan State. Tell you, if you're looking for a 7-2 upset, happens every year, pick that one. You know, he's going Louisville to the Final Four. That is an interesting pick. But like I said, there's always a higher seed that makes it there. And maybe I should have gone higher with my seed that makes it there. He also is Oregon beating Duke, my man. Alabama makes sense. I guess he's not a big St. Mary's believer. He has Montana beating my Wisconsin Badgers and BYU. So this part of the pod is really different for us, which is okay. Let's see. He has Colorado State advancing here, taking on St. John's. We have the same results down here. And he has High Point beating Purdue. Then Houston beating Kentucky in the 1-3 matchup. I can definitely see that. But this is his, Final Four here. I want to take a look at it. Take some screenshots. Let me know. Next year, I'm hoping we can get a community together to maybe play for a prize or something like that. Hopefully we have a large enough audience to do so. Or make a communal bracket or something like that. But here it is this year. Like I said, we'll have shorts up on the channel. But yeah, if you wanted a long form video, here we go, man. Appreciate y'all.